There's also another clip I wanted to play here for you that kind of speaks upon a little bit about the changes in the scene and stuff, especially with the younger DJs coming up. And this is a very, very interesting. Hold on. This is a very interesting point, very interesting conversation. It's starring DJ Tennis. DJ Tennis is somebody that probably a lot of people should probably look up to more because he made it quite late in life when it comes to DJing and shit. And he also came from being a manager of DJs, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was a manager first. So he kind of got that introduction to the scene, and then he started playing, and then, you know, eventually he turned into the legend that he is now. Well, DJ Tennis made a very interesting observation about Gen Z DJs coming up. I was thinking to myself, wow, man, I imagine how weird it is that this is the thing. But listen to what he says about Gen Z DJs and how they approach their craft and stuff. It's very interesting.
She grew up in Naples, and she's a proper Southern, like me. Southern Italian, so very passionate for food. Yes.
Who's not a good cook? Have you ever had a bad meal with someone?
Oh my God, yes. Like, who is a good cook? I'm not saying that literally who is a good cook. Nowadays, Gen Z don't cook.
Yes, so true.
Like the more you go ahead, we grow up with the mom cooking. Restaurants was a luxury every month on a Sunday. Like there was. Now we're used to eat outside, to order food, the delivery. But like when I was a kid, it was going to a restaurant. I was like, oh, there must be a very, very special thing happening to.
That's a really good point, though, isn't it? A lot of people don't really cook. I remember finding this out when I went to like a house party recently, and finding out like there are people who legitimately order food from delivery apps like Deliveroo, like Uber Eats and shit, 5 times a week. 5 times, especially when they're at work. Some guy that I spoke to actually orders from those delivery services to his workplace. Not too sure if that's laziness or something, but imagine being at work and not having even the strength to go downstairs quickly and, I don't know, buy a sandwich from a local store, go in fucking Tesco's and get a meal deal, go to a restaurant, I don't know, whatever. Everyone's just like buying stuff and getting it ordered, which you always see if you go to parts of like Liverpool Street, you go to parts of Shoreditch, you go to parts of Brixton and stuff, you'll see a bunch of people pulling up to certain fucking co-working spaces and shit, especially around lunchtime from like 12 till 3, dropping off fucking food and shit. But that's so bizarre because I've always essentially had a meal prep. I've always had some sort of lunch I pack myself. Like if I was working in the office 5 days a week, I would at least have my lunches packed for me for the 4 days. Maybe I might not be able to spec it out for the whole 5, but I'll at least have 4. And usually on the day that I didn't bring lunch with me and I end up buying something, I end up regretting it as soon as I ate it. I was like, oh shit, I should have just brought my own thing, you know? You end up kind of being a little bit disappointed. That's what happens when you start making your own lunches. You kind of long for having a lunch outdoors or outside or buy a lunch, whatever. But then when you finally buy it, you're like, I should have just made it myself. But yeah, you don't really hear people cooking that much, which is interesting too, because I feel like nowadays, like we're in a great renaissance of cooking content. I don't think there's ever been a time in history where we've had better cooking content. There's so much. Like before, I used to watch Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown to find out restaurants, to discover new places. Now you discover new. By the way, R.I.P. Anthony Bourdain, the fucking legend. But now you discover places just checking your Instagram. You don't have to fucking go anywhere. Pretty gnarly.
Today to go to a restaurant, so we had to learn literally to cook for ourselves. Also at home, when I was coming back from school with my sister, my parents were working and I had to cook for her. So that's how I learned. Like, so now Gen Z's, like some of the Gen Z or anyway, like younger artists or younger DJs, any manual kind of work doesn't exist. It's like I manage 10 other people to do what like.
That's insane, isn't it? Imagine, honestly, I'd love to hear this directly from a Gen Z DJ. These Gen Z DJs don't even want to do anything. They'd rather hire assistants for themselves to do the things that they don't want to do. Carry their bags, do their social... To be fair, you do see a lot of younger DJs coming up who seem to, even when they're not that popping, they have like a little mini social media team. You can clearly see somebody's running that. Like somebody's at the back doing all that shit, you know, zooming in and out, tapping, fucking zoom, tapping out, rotating the, you know, you can kind of see it happening. So there's some of these guys definitely have a team. It's fucking wild. Imagine just being like a local act, right? Somebody just trying to, you know, push it out there, get your name out there and shit. But you already got a whole fucking team that rolls with you to these little gigs that you do. I fucking love it, man.
You have cook for me, fill my USB key, choose my clothes.
That's really concerning, by the way. I hope he's joking. I hope that's just a joke. But if it's true that Gen Z DJs are requesting that their booking managers, their label owners, fill their USB with new releases, fill their USB with, I don't know, tunes that they can play out, instead of doing what all DJs do since the beginning of time, which is go record digging and find your own fucking tracks and play them and fuck around with them and see if they work or not, and then decide how they're going to work in your sets. Now Gen Z kids are like, nah, I signed to you. You got to find the tunes for me. You got to send me the tunes. I can't go and look for them. You got to send it to me. Pre-packaged in a nice little zip drive. Already pre-installed, already pre-uploaded, pre-fucking tagged, you know, on fucking record box and then fucking exported onto a USB for you. That's fucking crazy if true. Absolutely crazy if true.
Like literally, which is like the future of management.
Yeah. It's so true.
But yeah, big up the Gen Z DJs out there. Yeah, big up the Gen Z DJs making booking managers, making managers in general really work for their money. These motherfuckers have had it long, have had it easy for way too long. So big up all the booking managers out there who are making these motherfuckers really work for their money. You love to see it. You love to see it.